Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and thanks for joining us for another episode of FPL Fix. We've got a rapid turnaround this week. The last game week only ended Thursday and the next one kicks off today. We've had massive fixture news, key injury flags to review, and we've got a few exciting differential picks that can make all the difference. I'm James and here with me as always to break it all down is Patrick.
Hey everyone, this one's going to be short and sharp, but we've got a lot to cover. Before we dive in, if you find this helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Right, James, you took a big 8-point hit last week. Was it worth it?
No, unfortunately not. I ended up with a red arrow despite having the assistant managership active. Triple Crystal Palace completely flopped. Southampton hadn't earned a point in the league since before Christmas and Palace had been in great away form, but all I got was 8 points from the 3 assets, with half of those coming from Glasner, with Palace scoring a stoppage time equaliser. Bournemouth hurt me too. Kirkes finally blanked, and with Cliver injured, I got a 1-pointer off the bench from Robinson. Salah blanked as well as my captain. A couple of dodgy VAR calls went against Liverpool, but there were some positives in the week for me. Edison and Aït-Nouri combined for 14 points, and Palmer finally returned with an assist, and both my strikers scored as well. So yeah, I got a red arrow, but I beat the average, and my squad looks pretty solid going forward. How did your team get on, Patrick?
Yeah, I had a rough one too. I ended up on 42 points after taking a -8, so didn't even beat the average. Starting with my goalkeeper, Onana got me just 2 points. My defence was even worse. A combined 4 points across all 3. Wan-Bissaka managed 2, while Kirkes and Van Hecke both blanked for 1 apiece. Midfield was even much better. Bowen got me 2 points, Sahu brought in for a hit, also returned just 2, and Cliver was ruled out before kickoff. That meant Dango came off the bench for another 2-pointer, and Salah, who's been so reliable, blanked for the first time in ages with just 3 points. There were a couple of bright spots though. I brought in Isak for Wood and also took a -4 to replace the injured Haaland with Mamouche. That one paid off. I captained Mamouche and he delivered 18 points. So yeah, overall, a bit of a shocker this week. Now let's move on to the big news, fixtures update and who to target.
Okay, we've now got confirmed doubles in game week 33 for Arsenal, Villa, City and Palace play 5 times over the next 3 game weeks. There is a big caveat though, and that's that all 4 of those teams blank in game week 34, so if you are loading up now, you'll need a plan to navigate that blank. Moving on to the teams and players to target, on screen you can see who we think are the ones to focus on over the next 3 game weeks. First place in our rankings Arsenal, second place Newcastle, and 4th on the list Man City all play 4 times over the next 3 weeks, and all have really promising fixtures. Palace come in 3rd, the fixtures aren't easy, but 5 games is 5 games. Rounding it off, we've got Liverpool. They haven't got any doubles, but strong matchups, and they should be fully focused on the league now with nothing else to play for.
Right, let's look at some standout players from those teams. Saka was back with a bang. He scored within 10 minutes on his return from injury against Fulham on Tuesday. Murphy's another great shout, 106 points already this season and 4 strong fixtures. Got any differentials, James?
Yeah, Palmer was back amongst the points with an assist against Spurs, and with Madueke and Jackson returning, he could definitely be worth a look again. And then there's Isak. He's flagged right now, but if he starts, he's a serious captaincy option this week. High risk, but definitely high reward. And speaking of captains, let us know in the comments, are you risking Isak or are you going safe with Salah? Right, now it's time for team reveals. Patrick, what's your plan this week?
Here's how my team is shaping up for game week 31. I've stuck the armband back on Salah. He's up against Fulham, who have conceded 5 in the last 2 games. With that explosive potential, I think he will be one of the most popular captaincy picks this week. Bowen keeps his spot. He's at home against Bournemouth, who've looked shaky defensively lately. I've also brought in Rashford for the injured Cliver. It's not the easiest fixture with Forest away, but on his day, Rashford can cause problems for anyone. Ismail Assar stays my midfield, not based on form, but because of the upcoming doubles in 32 and 33. Up front, no changes. I'm rolling with Isak, Beto and Mamouche again. I'm tempted to switch captaincy to Isak against Leicester, so I will keep an eye out on any late news before locking it in. What are you doing with your team this week, James?
Okay, I'm finally ditching Lewis Hall and I'm bringing in Big Dan Burn. He'll be starting for me as part of a double Newcastle defence with Nick Pope, the other, who's my keeper this week. Munoz and Ait-Nouri are my starting defenders, with Kirkes dropping to the bench for me. Given all the injury flags, I do actually expect him to end up in my team at some point, not sure for who though. My midfield looks pretty strong, with Bowen and Sarr playing at home, plus Palmer and Salah, who are playing away but both have good matchups. Up top, I'm playing Marmoush, Wood and Isak, and I've got my fingers crossed that they all start. My captaincy is still on Salah, but I'll keep an eye on the Isak news. There's a chance I'll roll the dice and gamble on him this week. Well, that's all from us this week. Reminder that the deadline is today at 11 AM UK time, so please don't get caught out and make sure your team's locked in.
Thanks for watching. Please drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and follow us on X at Weekend Fix for last minute tips and advice.
Thanks again everyone, good luck this week and we'll see you next time.